War between Israel and Hamas has seen thousands of Canadians protesting and voicing frustration, and demonstrators are taking action locally. They're protesting against companies that are based here in Canada as well. Senior business reporter Anis Haidari this morning explains why businesses here are facing pressure over the situation in the Middle East.
Protesters have been targeting businesses in North America, trying to put financial, economic, or political pressure on institutions here to influence the situation in the Middle East and the fight between Israel and Hamas. Take Scotiabank, where protesters are challenging investments in an Israeli weapons company. It's part of what activists call the BDS movement: boycott, divest, and sanction. Companies that are tied to Israel's actions in the West Bank or Gaza. The idea is that the financial consequences from companies pulling out of those areas could influence Israeli policy.
You're putting pressure on companies that they just want to make money, and yet they are being, protested for their partnership, for their complicity in what the Israeli government is doing.
It's a tactic used against other countries in the past, for example, South Africa in the late 20th century. And while pro-Palestinian groups don't agree, others call these protests anti-Semitic and say they're targeting Jewish-owned businesses.
If somebody wants to protest the Israeli government, there are Israeli government representatives in Canada at an embassy and at consulates that are the address for protest.
Regardless, some research has shown that these boycott campaigns may not work as intended.
Activists do have obviously lists of companies that you should boycott. I think that is part of the intention to change the behavior of consumers. I think the reality, though, is that people are not always willing to follow through on those intentions.
Where BDS could shift a company's behavior is if its reputation is threatened, but that may not be working in this case. For example, Scotiabank hasn't changed course on investments. Anis Haidari, CBC News, Calgary.